Go Cards.
Let's go. And welcome into the Hoptown Fantasy Football Podcast. We are back. Brand new fantasy football season. As usual, I'm joined by TJ James and also the reigning champ of our league, Jax James. Fellas, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well,
Got the Cardinals on in the background here. We're making a run. We're
see
playing.
that the Cards have been hot lately. Pujols, man, he's making a resurgence.
Yeah, we're playing your beloved Cubs right now. You got Pujols in your fantasy baseball lineup currently?
I do.
Yeah, he's got a lefty on the mound. So
I do, yep. So, Jax, you doing good? Feeling good coming off your championship last year?
Doing good, feeling like a champion, liking where I'm at with the number 3 spot this year. I think it's going to be another good year. Looking for a good playoff appearance, follow-up year.
Heck yeah. So, we just decided that we're going to do kind of like a little mock draft, take turns making picks and everything. I guess just before we do that, give a quick update on the league. You know, some things that we changed. So we moved from ESPN to Sleeper. That was one change we made. I know we changed a little bit of the kicking. So like 31-yard field goals is worth 3.1 points and 32-yard field goals worth 3.2 and so on. That's another change we made. But basically everything else is the same that I can think of, you know. So we got the regular QB, 2 run backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, flex, defense, kicker, 7 bench spots, and you know your typical fantasy league, which I enjoy being in. Good league going on. So, any thoughts before we get into this, fellas?
No, man, I'm ready to dive in. I think that finish another season where I led the league in points back-to-back years. It's going to be tough to put together that good of a team for a third year in a row, but maybe I'll get luckier this year than good.
Maybe so. So it also is to give an update on the fantasy order. So we are drafting next Saturday. Next Saturday. Saturday morning, and just to give an update on the order. So John Morgan's has the first pick, Mason with the second pick, Jax, you have the third, like you already mentioned. I have the 4th. LB has the 5th, Hayden the 6th, TJ, you're the 7th. Jack has the 8th, Collins the 9th, Sam has the 10th pick, John Tom the 11th, and Dylan is the 12th. Big years for LB and Collins. Haven't made the playoffs yet since really this league has taken off. And I guess you can say the formation of it. And like I said, I haven't made the playoffs. So big year for them. LB Collins is in a spot where, he may not, he doesn't have the best draft spot, but not the worst. But LB has a top 5 pick, and he's guaranteed to get somebody pretty good. So maybe who knows? We'll see how the year plays out. Jax, so like I said, we're going to do this mock draft. Jax, you have the first pick in this. Who are you going to take?
All right, with the first pick, I'm going to go pretty safe, and I hope he falls to me in the 3 spot, but we never know. There's been some talks on where everybody's going, but I'm going to take JT at 1.
JT, of course. And also, I just want to put this out. This is probably, we're not, there's been a bunch of smoke screen, we think, but the way we're going to draft is just how we think the draft is more than likely, I guess, going to go. Is that how we're doing it, fellas? Is that how y'all want to do it?
Yeah,
should we do it that way?
We might be testing different things out, but yeah.
Well, I
don't want to give away all my secrets, but
but I'm just saying, thinking how. But I see what you're saying. But,
yeah.
So JT, first pick, Jack. So you think he's going to have a year like he did last year?
Yeah, I like him. I see where there's validity in taking C-Mac at 1. If he stays healthy all year, he obviously can finish as an RB1. There's a lot of guys, but I think the most consistent pick and the safe pick at number 1 is probably JT, but it's controversial to some people, but I like that pick.
Yeah. Nice Pujols with a long single behind you, TJ, by the way.
Really?
TJ, yeah,
So
hit also a home run, hit off the wall. All right, TJ, second pick, who you taking?
Yeah. So, man, I think in the second pick here, if JT goes, then I would go I'm kind of filling out the mock draft as we go so I can see it all, but that's the noise you heard.
Yeah.
I gotta go C-Mac here. League winning capability, and I think this is pretty standard so far.
Yeah. I agree.
However, to give some background information, the mad scientist from last year, which you all remember us discussing very thoroughly multiple times throughout the year with his unorthodox ways, has claimed that a dream has presented him during his sleep where Derleek Henry took him to a championship. So
We'll see. We'll see if that's true or if it's just smokescreen.
well, we know how Austin is. He's usually pretty convicted. So
That is true. That is true. So all right, we got JT, we got C-Mac. I'm up on, I guess, the clock. Of course, Jax, you have the third pick in the actual draft next week. So you know, maybe I don't know. I think I'll go ahead and say if JT and C-Mac is gone, that D-Hen will go off the board. I think, you know, D-Hen was unbelievable last year. He's still going to be a big part of the offense for the Titans this year. And I mean, people talk about JT last year, how dominant he was, but D-Hen, when he was healthy, I mean, he was way better than JT was. So D-Hen off it.
Yeah.
All right, Jax.
you got Derek 3 there.
I do. I have Derek at 3.
Okay.
I think at the 4 spot, it could go a lot of ways, but if I were in the situation where these guys were off the board, I think I'm going to take Cooper Kupp at 4. I like Cooper Kupp. You know, there's not much that's changed in his offensive situation since last year. I think he's going to be productive. Obviously, they're missing some of the receivers they have, but I think he's really good. He's going to get the targets. He's going to put up the points, and we all know what he's capable of. So I'm going to take Cooper Kupp at the 4 spot.
Yeah, I think, you know, I have like I said, I have the 4 spot, and if this happens, I have some big decisions to make. Do I go Cooper or Jay Jettis here, or do I go like Eckler? I don't think there's necessarily a wrong decision, just depending on who falls to me in that second round.
Yeah.
But all right, TJ, 5th pick. Who you gonna go?
All right. So right here, this is somebody I personally like a lot. I like getting running backs in this league. It's very important. I think we know in history that you have to have some running backs. And I am going to take a guy I like this year, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin.
Yep.
Okay. You know, he has not gotten much buzz, I feel like, this preseason at all.
Other than John Morgan saying he might take him number 1.
Yeah, that is true. But I feel like like in the media world, fantasy world, like he hasn't really gotten any buzz. And he's done nothing but been good year in and year out. Yeah, he's had some injury issues. Probably he's usually going to miss some games, but
he's not been that injured though. He's played the majority of the year, last few. So
well, he has. So that's what I'm saying. He's going to miss usually 2 games, but for running backs, it's not like a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. I think he's a solid player, and I don't know if LB would take him at that 5th spot, but he would get a great player if he did take him. So we got JT, C-Mac, Henry, Cooper, Dalvin, first 5 picks. 6th pick, like I said, it's Hayden in the draft. If it fell in this order, I think Jefferson, JJ, I think he would be the next one to go off the board. And apparently the Vikings is supposed to be more pass heavy this year. So he could be primed for a huge season.
Which I think that helps Dalvin Cook more.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
PPR, you know, got these running backs that can catch the ball a lot, really.
Yeah.
So, all right. Jay Jettas, good pick. Not too surprising. I think that you could go running back there. You could go Eckler. You could go Najee. You could even go Mixon. Or you could go Jettas. Or if you like Chase better, you could go Chase. There's a lot of ways to think about it. All right. Back to Jax.
Well, staying on the train of running backs that can catch the ball, mentioning that we've let him go this far. You know, he's a top 3 pick in a lot of people's boards. I'm going to go with Austin Eckler at the 7 spot. I think there's a chance I could pull the trigger on him at 3. When the draft comes around. I'm not afraid to say that. I think he's good. He's gonna put up a lot of points in PPR. So I'm gonna go with Austin Eckler at 7.
TJ, if Eckler fell, I mean, I'm assuming you'd be pretty happy if Eckler fell to you at 7.
Yeah.
I know you have to have I know you have a certain number of players you want,
There's 3 players that I'm gonna be fumbling between for this pick. I'm not gonna say who they are.
Right.
I like Eckler. I don't want to reveal if I like him a lot or not. I don't want to say who I want right here just yet. This league is still competitive, and I'm still competing against the league, so I can't really reveal. But I think Eckler right there, it makes sense. He's probably gone anyways. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, Teach, you're up.
yeah. So here, let me set Eckler here on my board that I've got going. Okay, so at the 8th pick here, I'm actually gonna go for the guy that I think has the most upside in the whole league, and that's gonna be Jamar Chase.
Excuse me. I agree. He could very well.
I mean, I guess it's hard to say because Cooper Kupp did just put up basically a best season of all time from a wide receiver, so he won the Triple Crown, but. So maybe he doesn't truly. I mean, I guess you have to say Cooper Kupp has the biggest upside because if he did what he did again last year, I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But other than Kupp, I mean, I just see Chase with a lot of yards this year.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about T. Higgins like others are. I just think their whole offense is going to be better. I think Chase had some things he still could have improved upon last year, and he will because we all forget that Chase didn't play the year before. So.
Yeah. I agree. So, all right. So 9th pick here. I think this is where Collins has this pick in the draft. And this is where I think more than likely in some order, this is going to be the first 8, in my opinion.
I'm going to get some water real quick, but go ahead.
All right. This is going to be the first 8, in my opinion. This is where things start getting interesting. Do you go Joe Mixon? You got Devontae Adams, Diggs. Najee is still on the board. You got Travis Kelce still.
I think the 8. I think there's guys that could go in that top 8 though. Like I think some people could like Najee as being a top 5 guy. Some people could like
that's true. At least for me, this is the top 8.
Yeah, but I think there's some guys that I can't personally say whether I like him or not, but like I would consider taking Kelce at 7.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I mean, there'd be nothing wrong with that at all. So we're here at the 9th spot. And, we just talked about how big, I think the running backs, it's always with our league is a big theme. So I think a running back's going to go here. So is it going to be Najee or is it going to be Joe? And I think it's going to end up, I think Joe would make a lot of sense here. Better offense, better quarterback, great offensive line, or not great, but better offensive line than the Steelers. He was amazing last year. And I don't know if he's going to get as many opportunities as Najee. So that's, it can be a counter argument for not taking him over Najee, but that's true. I'm going to take Joe here in that 9th spot.
Okay.
So, all right, Jax, back up.
Against the grain. I like it.
All right. In the 10th spot, I'm not going to go with the worst pick of the draft in Najee last year. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. I think he's going to have big workload. He's going to get the ball a lot as long as he stays healthy. We saw the numbers he was putting up for Jack last year. He was a scary running back to go against. And I like DeAndre Swift, so I'm going to throw him in at the 10 spot there.
I think that would be pretty wild if he actually went in the first round. But he's a very good player. I mean, he's arguably the Lions' best player.
And I see a lot of expert mocks that have DeAndre Swift going that high.
Yeah.
I see some guys taking Swift in that 9-10 range a lot, actually.
Yeah, and Sam has the 10th pick. And
I don't think Sam will go Swift, but
I don't think so
I actually
either.
know who Sam's gonna go.
Yeah, I think he's told us, but
And I
Mhm.
think to continue off that, I think the Swift pick's a good pick. There's obviously one guy sliding right now, and like I said, some people may value him as a top 5 guy. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily dislike him, but right here I'm gonna go Travis Kelce
Okay.
at the 11.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I think John Tom would be very happy with Kelsey at the 11 spot. So here we go. Last pick of the first round, and then of course I'll have back to back. The first pick of the second was this is Dylan's spot right here. And with Najee, I think Dylan in this spot, he would go Najee, and in whatever order, go Najee with that first or second pick, and then take a wide receiver with the
Oh yeah, I've actually talked to Dylan. I think he likes Najee a lot, so Dylan would be thrilled. Now to say whether or not Najee will make it to 12, who knows? I mean, he may not.
Yeah, but I think Dylan would be very happy with the Najee Devontae Adams, two high volume guys that's going to get a lot of opportunities. Adams may not get as many opportunities as he usually gets, but I think he's still going to get quite a bit. And of course, Najee, I think, will get a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, TJ, back up.
Right here, it's interesting. I haven't done any mocks from this 11 spot, and I'm just trying to, in each of these spots, I'm trying to go based off where you think you can build from. I think that I'm really enticed to take Stephon Diggs here, but I don't know what a tight end wide receiver start from the 11 ends up looking like. However, I think there's a guy you can take right now at running back that could, have been taken 4th overall, if you believe in the recent reports. But I'm going to go Alvin Kamara right here.
I think, and the report, I think the reports of all of his suspension stuff and what exactly is he in trouble for again? It's for
it's some kind of battery type thing.
Yeah.
Assault in Vegas.
yeah.
So I've heard a lot that it's likely not going to happen this year.
Yep.
Maybe at the very end, but it doesn't seem like it. Like
Mhm.
everything's kind of trending towards him being able to play most of this year. And I mean, you get Kelce and Kamara, you're getting the focal point of 2 offenses.
Yeah. For sure. I think John, I think he would be happy with Kelsey Kamara a little bit.
But also like Kelce, I mean, Kamara was 17th in my queue right here. Like I could see Kamara falling to the back end of the second round. Like, so
I agree with that. All right, Jax, you're up.
TJ touched on it a little bit, but I understand not wanting to go him, especially starting off tight end receiver is tough. But I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs here. I like this pick a lot. I'd like taking him here. Obviously, as best quarterback in fantasy, one of arguably the best quarterback in fantasy. Throwing to him, he's electric. He's going to make big plays for you. So he's going to put up some big weeks for teams. Has a massive ceiling. I like Diggs a lot here.
So I think Swift Diggs a good wide receiver running back combo. I think that would be a good pick. That's a pick that makes a lot of sense. Now you're here in the 9th spot. Like I said, Joe Mixon went first round in this spot. So just, I think everybody says, Diggs and Adams are 2 wide receivers that are really great, that are falling to the second round, or Adams into the first, depending on the league. And so now it's just all depending on, what do you think of CD, Tyreek, even I guess Debo, because you got Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb could go in these spots. I think right here I would go CD. He has a great quarterback, focal point of an offense. I think he could really explode this year.
All right.
So, and like I said, Gallup's not coming back for a couple of weeks, so he's really going to be. I think Dak could definitely pepper him, and they still have a pretty good run game with Pollard and Zeke, so it's not like all the pressure is going to be on him. Dalton Schultz. He's a good tight end. Help take off some of the load a little bit, but like I said, I think CD could explode. So, all right, TJ, you're up.
So you went CD right there. All right, I'm thinking right here where I want to go. I've got Jamar Chase. Here, I'm updating it currently where you took CD. I think right here is a really good spot. You can, he's fallen far enough. He's going to get a ton of receptions, in my opinion. And I think right here with Jamar Chase, I'm going to pair him up with. Now, there is a report that came out that said that he's basically in a 1A backfield. Still doesn't scare me that much because I do think that he is Rodgers' favorite guy right now, and it's Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I think he brings a low floor every week.
Yeah.
Or a high floor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's definitely the best running back or the best weapon in that offensive room. Who knows how, he's missed some games over the years. So it's all about how healthy can he stay. And I think I feel like the Packers didn't really, I think AJ Dillon ended up with more carries than Jones last year. But he just offers so much, I think, with pass catching, especially with who they lost and with Valkis Stanley and D. Adams.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Jax, back up.
Okay, so I don't have the board up next to me here, or I haven't wrote down what team. Who am I pairing with here? Who's in the spot?
Eckler.
So I have Eckler right here. Okay. If I had Eckler, this is a guy, and this might be questionable with some people, but I think he's gonna have a good year. And I think I would take Saquon Barkley here. I like Saquon. I know that's high on it's a lot higher than a lot of people have him rated. He might not even go at the end of the second round for some people, but I think he will. And I think our league really values running backs.
Yeah.
So I think if you have Eckler, Saquon as your running backs, if they stay healthy for you, you're going to have a crazy 1-2 combo there. And it's hard to get running backs as the year goes on, as we all know. That's what most people try and trade for. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with Saquon here.
Yeah, I agree. Our league is very RB heavy. I don't disagree with that at all. And I'm up next, Jefferson, with my first round pick. I'm gonna go Chubb here. Again, like we just said, it's our league wants, you gotta have a good running back, and our league definitely values that, I feel like. And Chubb's just a great running back. It's a shame he doesn't add any. If he had any pass catching attributes, or the Browns use him in any more pass catching scenarios, he could definitely easily go first round because he's a great running back, runs behind a great offensive line. So it's just.
Well, I think another thing scaring people isn't even necessarily that, I still think he catches more, but it's just he's going to have 11 games with Jacoby Brissett. How good is the offense going to be? So
yeah. Well, the thing is, though, can it be any worse than a banged up Baker end of last year?
Yeah, that's fair. I like that pick there with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson could be the number one fantasy guy this year. So
yeah,
bring in a nice solid guy that is going to get the ball 20 times every week.
Mm-hmm.
It does. So right here, there's a lot of ways you can go. Some people love Javonte Williams. I've seen him getting taken,
yeah,
early in the second round. If you believe in him taking over that backfield, I could see him going in the first round. That's like one of those things. Do you believe? There's Leonard Fournette. There's wide receivers like Tyreek Hill. You never would see him this far, but a guy I really like this year, and I also took the other one, so maybe I'm being a little heavy on it, but we've got our running back. I think I'll like a wide receiver I can get on the next turnaround. Maybe another running back, but I'm going to go with Mark Andrews.
Okay. I think getting him at this spot would be a steal, would be excellent. I feel like.
Some people might think it's early, but I think he could be tight end 1 as well. I mean, Kelsey, I think safer. Just because I don't know, some people have Mark Andrews tight end 1, and I'm totally with it. So
yeah, I don't mind that pick of all. Pair him with Dalvin. I don't mind it at all. All right,
could
Jack.
be a lot of touchdowns out of those two.
Yeah,
a lot of touchdowns.
Yep, I agree with that. All right,
So
Jack,
is this the pick?
You took
This is the pick paired with Cooper Kupp?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with Leonard Fournette here. I like Lenny. I know there was speculation. People were saying, he looks out of shape. He doesn't look like he's ready. I'll tell you this right now. I went to the Titans-Bucks preseason game on Saturday, and I saw him about 5 feet from me. And there's not a single skill player on that team that's half as big and as athletic looking as he is. So I'll take Lenny. I think he's a powerhouse. Yeah, I like Lenny a lot here.
This is our
I think
source.
Leonard and Kupp would be a good start to your team. I like that.
Well, you also know he's going to catch. I mean, he's going to be a guy that's going to catch maybe as many balls as Austin Eckler, which is crazy to think about.
It is. But does the whole Brady situation and their banged up offensive line scare y'all any?
The banged up offensive line might be better for Lenny as far as PPR.
Yeah.
Because Brady loves to get the ball out quick, and he
True.
loves throwing it to his running back, and he may throw it that much more just to combat that offensive line. Brady's a smart guy. I mean, he's going to, he's played with suboptimal offensive lines in the past, and he just gets the ball out quick. I mean, he's going to he's going to figure it out, and he's going to, he's going to dissect you. He may not be throwing it as deep as he was down the field last year, but I like Lenny right there. I could see you taking Lenny anywhere in this round. I can see the second round going any amount of ways.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's a lot of guys that you could feel strongly or weakly about.
I agree. I mean, like I said earlier, I think those first 8 that we did in this draft. I know TJ, you mentioned some that could sneak in that first 8, but I think the first 8 it could go in any order. But I think that's the top 8. But then starting with pick 9 up until this end of the second round, it could go any sort of way.
Yeah.
And
all right, you're up with old Derek.
Yep. So D-Hen, back around this spot. I mean, you still got 2 really good wide receivers on the board. You got Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Javonte still up there. I know Josh Allen has been going around this spot and even some drafts. I think, QBs kind of fell in our draft last year a little bit. I mean, I ended up taking the first QB in the 4th round. Which I think compared to a lot of drafts is a little bit later than usual. So I'm not going to go Josh Allen here. I'm going to go Deebo. I like Deebo this year. He has a brand new contract.
I liked him last year too, and he did you well. So why not?
He did. He was a great pick in the 7th round. Great pick in the 7th round. And Jax, you don't have to say nothing, but I feel like you'd be very happy with the D-Hen Deebo pairing.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Teach C-Mac with your first pick. I mean, whose spot this is. You know whose spot this is and who's available.
Yeah, I've got a sleeper board with everybody filled out in front of me, so I'm seeing everything. Man, I like C-Mac, and just the thought of pairing him with another running back, just because you never know about his health. But a running back that's fallen that skill wise is amazing on a very great offense, presumably this year, and he produced in a 50-50 split. And I think that if they want to start winning football games, they'll start playing him a little more. I'm going to take Javonte Williams.
Yeah. I think, and because this is Austin's spot in the draft, and if he's there when Austin picks again in the 2nd round, he's going to take him.
Yeah,
definitely, no doubt. But yeah, he's a beast. If the Broncos decide to give him majority of the work, he'll be phenomenal for sure.
All right, Jax. So you're up with 2 picks here with the Jonathan Taylor spot.
Okay, I'm going to go with the guy who is as electric as anybody out there with the ball in his hands on a new team this year. Don't know how he's going to produce, but he's a guy that you love having on the team. You love to throw on the TV on Sundays, and that's Tyreek Hill. I like JT Tyreek Hill a lot.
Yeah, I think you got to take Tyreek there.
I think you'd take him there.
Yeah, and that's wild if he falls that far. It really is.
Yeah. I agree. And then I get another pick there. Same team, correct?
Yeah.
This is where it snakes back around.
Yep.
So I've got JT, Tyreek Hill, and am I losing my mind? Has Alvin Kamara been chosen yet?
Yes, he has
Yes.
at the beginning of the second.
I took
Okay,
Alvin Kamara with the 14th pick.
Okay. I thought that someone did, but I don't have anything marked out here. I'm going to go with Mike Evans here.
Okay.
I'm going to take Mike Evans. I'm going to have JT, Tyreek, and Mike Evans.
Okay. I
A
think
lot of people, I've seen Mike Evans go second round as well. Yeah, I don't know if Tyreek Hill will make it that far. I really don't. That'd be a wild spot, really. And now that I'm looking at it, but
I agree.
I was going to take
maybe should have
Tyreek
went where
Hill.
he maybe should have gone where maybe even CD did. Team 9.
Yeah, he could go anywhere in that range. Honestly, I would have taken him, with C-Mac, but like I said, I mentioned that I didn't know if Williams would make it back around to me, and I like having another running back just because with C-Mac.
Right.
All right. But those are good picks. I think a lot of people are high on Mike Evans, and honestly, in the third round, if Mike Evans just does what he's done every single year, you're happy with it. So
yeah.
All right. I think right here, you could triple stack running backs, and I think that's not a bad strategy, but is the value at like Zeke, James, Conner, I see Akers ranked pretty highly. I'm not as big on Akers. I do like Montgomery, okay, but man, AJ Brown, there's part of me that was staying very clear of him for a little while, but now I'm kind of back in. Dude.
Tough pick right here.
I think it's got to be a wide receiver right here, and it's not going to be AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think I'm going to go. I think you just steady. This guy's steady as all get out, man. I'm just going to go Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, PPR machine.
Steady. I think if you match steady with Christian McCaffrey, you win the league.
Yeah, I agree with that. And he's going to be good. Great quarterback, great offense. A head coach that loves to take chances. We know how many times they went for it on like fourth down last year and inside the 20. Yeah, so I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, you take C-Mac, you're either gonna lose him and then you're scrambling like John Morgan was last year, or you keep him. And if you just draft guys that are putting up 14 points every week like Keenan Allen does, you're gonna win.
Yeah. So I'm back up on the board. Went Debo in this spot. Yeah, I think this is a good spot to take. To take AJ Brown. You have D-Hen, who's a monster. And then you have Debo. And I think AJ's would be a good spot there to pair him with Debo, because I think Debo's going to be pretty consistent. And AJ, he's going to be kind of up and down, I'm sure. But pairing him with Debo, I think you can kind of offset that.
Yeah.
So I will say one problem with this team that people are going to probably point out is all three of them has a history of injuries. So there's a little bit of a risk.
Who doesn't though, man?
Yeah, it's football you're right.
So
you are right. So
all right. Jax is up. This team has Cooper Kupp and Lenny Fournette.
Okay. I'm going to go with Ezekiel Elliott here.
All right.
And throw him on that team as the second running back.
Okay. I think he's good to pair with Leonard. I think Zeke is out of you don't want Zeke as the RB1, your RB1, I feel like. But
unless you go 0 RB and you're stacking.
It just depends. If you can get two stud wide receivers, sure. but I think he's a very safe RB option, and he's going to get you at the very. I think his floor is high.
I might be wrong, but he might have been. I think he still was top 10 last year.
He was. He's RB6.
Jesus Christ.
Somewhere
that's
around that.
crazy. I had him all year, man. I drafted him 4th. That was a little bit of a stretch, but
That was. He drafted.
I was big on Zeke last year. I mean, Zeke in the 3rd round right here is value. It's just what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. And let me double check that and make sure. Yeah, Zeke was RB7th actually.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, good pick, Lenny, Zeke, Cup. Like I said, you're pairing 2 pretty steady guys with a guy that in Cup is the wide receiver C-Mac, except probably more reliable. So, league winner type stuff with some steady production.
No.
All right, so this team has Cook, Mark Andrews, lots of touchdowns going right now, man. I think right here, Zeke, or I think right here, man.
Things get interesting right here. Very interesting.
I think right here is a good spot to just go rocking with. This is tough. This is real tough.
It is. LB's gonna have a tough pick here.
Man, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go T. Higgins right here, man.
T. Higgins, okay.
Interesting.
I like T right here, but there's, at what point do you pull the trigger on Josh Allen?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, our league, at least last year, our league went later than usual for quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, you got a good league. I think that's fair, but I mean, at this point, you can put Josh Allen with a couple studs right now.
No, I agree. And so, all right, so I'm at the 6th spot again. You got Jefferson. I got Chubb. I'm gonna go with another young stud. Or I guess I know Chubb's not young, but Jay Jettis is. But I'm gonna go with another young stud here. Do Kyle Pitts. And TJ, this is a guy we talked about today. Breakout candidate. Mariota's his quarterback, so maybe a little bit of a step down from Matt Ryan, but Mariota loved Delaney Walker when he's with the Titans, and Pitt had a great year last year and didn't really produce. And he didn't have a lot of touchdowns, so you figure that's going to kind of go up this year.
Yeah, especially for a guy that was a literal touchdown machine in college. So, yeah. I mean, an absolute touchdown machine.
I like that pick.
So, yeah, Kyle Pitts, man, he could go anywhere in this round.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And he could go in the 2nd round, and I wouldn't call you crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some where he's gone at the end of the 2nd.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jax, back up.
All right, what team are we working with here?
You got Eckler. You took an Eckler Saquon with this.
Okay. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman Jr. right here.
Okay.
I like him. I think, you got to get a receiver at some point when you start off 2 RBs. You can even start off 3 RBs in some situations.
Yeah.
But I think Pittman's a guy that will produce all year. We've seen, the targets he was getting last year, and when he was playing well, he was putting up good points. So I like Michael Pittman here. I think you pair him with those 2 good RBs. You start off with a solid team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. He's and he has Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's on there now. He's definitely a better quarterback than Wentz. And so I think Pittman, great year. And he's also another kind of breakout candidate for this year.
Yeah.
So Teach back up, had Chase and Aaron Jones in this spot. And so are you going to go?
Yeah, right here, man. The fall has gone too far. I'll pair up Aaron Jones with James Conner.
Yeah. And I think teammate who has a fit Jack, if Jack went Chase, Jones, Conner, I think that I think that's a great way to start out your draft.
I was in a draft recently where Jack actually took James Conner as this, if not higher, in a league where we did 2 QBs that's very premium on scoring. So Jack likes James Conner.
Yeah, and I think Connor and
I don't think he will make it here.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. And the Cardinals don't have D-Hop this year, or at least for the first 8 games. I know Hollywood Brown's battled some injuries this training camp. So I think Connor could be very good this year. No Chase Edmonds to compete with them, so I think he could be really good this year.
Yeah.
So I am back up. You got Joe Mixon, you got CD in this spot. I'm actually going to go back to the RB ranks and go with David Montgomery.
All right.
I think
so what do you think on David Montgomery? He's kind of a polarizing guy.
he is. I mean, I think he's definitely. I mean, I guess it's him or Mooney's as far as who's the best player for the Browns, but he's honestly done nothing but just produced, I feel like, over the years. So a lot of people feel like he's better than what people think. I think pairing him as an RB2 with Mixon would be a good spot for him and for your team.
He's got a very he's got either the easiest or second easiest schedule for running backs based off last year for the schedule this year.
Yeah.
And, there's talks of Khalil Herbert, but when he came back from injury, Herbert didn't hardly touch the ball. So,
yeah, I'm not really worried about Herbert.
All right, good pick. I like it. Jax, DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs.
I'm going to pair up Stephon Diggs with his QB, and I'm going to give him Josh Allen here. I'm going to go Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Good, good combo. It could combo for some big electric weeks.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that a lot, actually. I was actually just going to take Josh Allen at 311 because I would have just, it was really enticing to do Kelsey, Kamara, Allen. It just seemed like 3 guys that are just could put up a lot of points, a lot of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But I like the stack with Allen.
I love the stack. I do too.
And then you got Swift. So, all right. So right here, I've got Kelsey and I've got Kamara. And, there's a lot here that could go. I could stack Kelsey with Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Another stack house type. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Get another hopefully a reminiscent of Kamara when he was younger as well. We're gonna get Travis Etienne.
I like it. I like it. And people say people say he's coming off the ACL injury. I think those in the training camp says he's looking very
explosive.
Yes, explosive, looking healthy, not having any restrictions, I guess, so to say.
Yeah. This stack this team right here with Etienne, Kamara, and Kelsey, lots of receptions going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 12th pick, 312, 5 Najee and D Adams. I was actually going to take ETN there.
This is your last pick, Bone. This is the
that's
last
why
one of the podcast.
I didn't think ETN would make it back around to the 4-2. I thought you would go.
Yeah. So here we go. We got the 312 here. And like I say, you got Najee, Adams. I think tight end is very premium and is a pretty premium in our league. I feel like I'm going to take Kittle here, maybe a little early, but I think Kittle. I mean, we know what Kittle does when he goes atomic nuclear, and
I don't mind it.
I think and Kittle's down on a lot of people's lists this year. I feel like or aren't as high on him, I think
Yeah.
maybe I don't know if Trey Lance has to do with that. I know he has some injury issues. I think Kittle's still one of the top tight ends. He's still the third best tight end in the league, I feel like.
Well, some people think he's the best overall. He just doesn't fantasy correlate.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's a good little first 3 rounds. And I think that, as always, that it's important for people to be mocking and test different things out, because you just have to see if you like your team with different ways and see what you think goes best. So
Prepare for every situation.
there's a lot of ways this round could go. I mean, somebody may like T. Higgins in the second, somebody may like him never.
Yeah.
Lots of different ways. I mean, a guy like ETN could end up being a top 5 back. So
Yep.
So of these teams, which of the 12 you think had the most solid start to the first 3 rounds of the draft?
It's an excellent question. Excellent question. I really like Team 8, the Chase, Jones, James Conner.
Yeah.
That'd be Jack's spot right there. And I really like that.
I just realized that this is actually my spot, but I didn't put it together until I didn't like my spot that I'm drafting that I put together. But the Eckler, Barkley, Pittman could be really nice.
Yeah, no, that's another one. I agree.
They all look good, man. I mean, ETN, Kamara, Kelsey.
Yeah.
You're
I
going
don't think any of them are bad.
You're going to be coming around and getting somebody like McLaurin, Waddle, Deontay, DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is a guy that is, I mean, I have seen this guy in expert leagues go like second round, and that's Cortland Sutton. So
another one, Mike Williams. Did you say Mike Williams?
Well, no, I didn't.
Are you talking about people that could go that top 3?
I'm saying I've seen some people taking Cortland Sutton at like the end of the second round.
That's wild. That's very wild.
But people are really, really big believers in him. So
It's just got to be that deep threat with Russell. They think he's just gonna go nuclear this year.
Yeah.
I mean, So, all right. Well, Jax, what do you have to say about last year, man? Walk us through the mind of a champ.
Obviously my team was it was one of the worst teams in the playoffs. I mean, it wasn't threatening. I was having to plug and play guys. I ran into the running back issue later in the year. I ended up trading Najee to get 2 running backs, but really it just came down to lucky waiver pickups. I mean, I was picking up running backs off the waivers in the playoffs that were posting me 20, 25, 30-point games, and T. Higgins dropped a 40-plus point bomb. The stars just align. I mean, the stars have to align in fantasy playoffs for you to win. You can't expect your great teams to just keep playing great. There's always going to be those lucky performances. And, I think I got lucky, made some good waiver pickups, and I was, blessed to be a fantasy champion.
I will say, Jax, you were the number 1 overall seed going in the playoffs as well.
I was, but my
he got that bye.
Not scary.
He did it. The buys. I know some people don't think the buy is important, but actually only one person thinks that. But it is, and I think that helped. I think that's one way you were able to win it all, Jax.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
odds are huge.
I think we got a lot of good talking about some of these players and it's good. I didn't reveal a lot though. There's some guys I'm sneaky on. There's some guys I may not have commented on, but I don't know what I want to do with 7. I don't know who should go where, but people need to figure it out.
I agree. So, all right, TJ, before we head out of here, it's time for the ever popular manager rankings. So okay, so these manager rankings like going into the year, is this like manager rankings overall, like the past?
I think it's both, man. I think that the rankings going into the year should just be who's been the best manager over time.
Okay. All right. Well, these are yours.
Maybe I'll favor a little bit of recency,
Yeah,
just for trending, but
well, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Let me pull up
segment.
and just so yeah, the power rankings in the season are going to be based off like what your team is. This is like how managers have done. And I told Bone that I didn't sit down and look at it. I was gonna, kind of sift through some stuff. Y'all could hear what I'm thinking. We'll start from the bottom up. I think clearly at number 12 right now, and I hate to do it because LB has an argument for this, but at number 12 right now is Collins. And I will say this because Collins has had, I think, where he's drafted well, which I guess in some way you could say is a skill set. And he's had teams that could be good, but his poor managerial skills and rigid mindsets have tanked good teams. Yeah. Like last year, he told me he just wasn't going to trade because the year before, I think he made a trade that didn't work out for him. Well, here's the news for everybody. I think the best players are going to trade. They're going to get better, and you're going to get licks sometimes. It just happens.
Yeah.
All right. So Collins, bottom of the barrel. He had for a lot of the year, I kept saying he was in those top 3 power rankings, but he wasn't performing. Could get better. He could have made some trades and got some hauls back, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got Collins at 12. I've got these. I don't know where everybody's names is on these.
Are you looking at the sheet I sent you?
Yeah.
It should be at the bottom.
Yeah, no, it's just the things, the rows, and nobody's names are associated with them.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
But I think at 11 is going to be LB. He's never made the playoffs, and he's sometimes shown signs of quitting. So that's pretty self-explanatory. However, I think he's made a few trades, and he's finished close enough towards the playoffs in most of the years that it worked out.
I was like 3. I mean, LB's gone because usually.
Yeah, Camby, I can't. I'm gonna have to know who these people are.
Okay, well, let me keep talking. I'll send you a different version. But LB, by the way, I mean, like I said, we do a 16 playoff. And I know in 2020, all LB had to do was win the very last game of the year to make the playoffs. He didn't, so he finished 7th. Last year, all he had to do was, I think, maybe same situation or something like that. He didn't make the playoffs, finished 7th. So he is right there on the Cubs. Is that how you say it? He's right on the edge to make it. Whereas Collins, I mean, his rate Collins regular season finishes 8th, 9th, 11th. I mean, he's not close.
Yeah, he's a whole lot of red there, man.
Yeah. So LB is at least up there. I do think LB ends the playoff drought this year. I like the position. And I will say this about LB. He's had the 12th pick to the last 3 years. So I think he has the 5th pick this year. So I think LB gets it done this year. And TJ, I'm sending it to you right now.
All right.
A little on-air pivoting. But
that's all right. We were able to explain our bottom 2 guys that haven't made the playoffs. So
yeah, I just sent it.
Cool. I'm looking for it. But I do have who's likely going to be in my 10th spot is it's going to be John Morgan. Jane, there's a lot of people that need to see something out of you this year. And, unfortunately, we're taking into account when this league really kind of solidified because there was a history in fantasy football where John Morgan was the elite guy. And, I think that it's another situation where maybe he drives too stiff of a bargain to make trades that are going to make him better. He might value handcuffs a little more than, some people do. So John Morgan, man, I hate to say it, but I've got him at number 10, and I think he needs to show something coming up. So a guy that's coming in 9th, and he's kind of just been hanging around, another guy that I think overthinks some of the trades, another guy that he knows what he's doing and he can put together a draft, and he hasn't had a terrible season, but he's missed the playoffs 3 of the 4 years. Dylan Henderson's at 9. So I think at 8, moving to 8. Oh,
Did you get the email?
Yeah, I'm looking at it
Okay.
now.
Okay, good.
Moving in at 8. This is gonna cause some rift right here. This is gonna be tough for some people to deal with, but it's gonna be Mr. Sam Blaine. Man, you look at Sam, and he's got an overall record of 23-32. Very, very, very subpar. And he's missed the playoffs 3 years in a row prior to last year, and then he had a regular season finish of 5th, but had the best team, and then lost in the playoffs to Jax after he beat me. He's never been the point champ. He's came in last in points for, 9th in points for. So Sam's at 9, man. And that's where he's at. I hate to do it. I think he's better than that, but I'm just going off, performance here. And then I think in the 8th spot here,
Like 7th.
or the 7th.
Yeah, you had 7 at 8.
The 7. Man, dude, now we're getting to where it's just kind of tough. I think in the 7th spot here. Oh, this is tough because he's had 2 good years recently, man. So,
We are getting into the nitty gritty.
yeah. So, All right. In the 7th spot, we are going to go Hayden. So Hayden had 1 year where he went 12-1. He had the least amount of points against him. He had so many turd bowl appearances. He had 2 wins. And he hasn't won a playoff game. So that's that. He made the playoffs, I believe. Yeah, he's made the playoffs twice. So, that's Hayden. I think he's got to do a little bit more here. So we're getting in the top half here. Man, where do you go from here, man? Right here. Where do you go from? This is tough. This is tough, guys. This is really tough. I think that this is a guy that has trended up. I'm going to hate to do this, but this is a guy that's trended up. He's trended up heavily, but his first 2 seasons were pretty poor. So I've still got to take that into consideration, but we'll put Austin at 6th. But he's trended up from probably bottom of the barrel. He's came in 2nd 2 years ago in the playoffs, had a 3rd spot regular season finish last year. Has had some pretty wild predictions that have sometimes came true. And that'll be Austin in the 6th spot, which brings me to my 5th spot. A guy that I think is just steady in this 5th spot. When I think of the 5th spot, I think of a consistent performer. Hasn't done anything crazy special. Last year was probably going to be it had Derrick Henry not gotten hurt. So we always remember that. But I've got Jack in the 5th spot. He had a team last year that at one point people were wondering if it was even touchable, and then it kind of all fell apart. Whether it was truly too many injuries or maybe he wasn't proactive enough, I don't know. He had a lot of injuries. So we'll go Jack 5th. I'll All right, and now for fourth, we're gonna go Camby. Camby, I thought I would have you a lot lower, but looking at it, you've done a little better than I've thought.
Mm-hmm.
Regular season first place finishes.
The disrespect you give me this offseason has not been
Two regular first place finishes and a runner up. So there you go. And honestly, you very well could have the argument to get to leap over me in the third spot, which is where I've got myself. You've got a better overall record. You've got, a second place finish, but I'm going to put me in third for having back-to-back point champs with a first round bye the year prior. I think it's just steady performance, steady dominance in the regular season. I just haven't correlated it to any playoff wins yet, which is astonishing. But I could see the argument for Camby over me there. I'm going to put Jax at number 2. He won. And honestly, I'm giving him props for winning last year. He's made the playoffs twice. Actually, he's made the playoffs 3 times now. So, no, that's Jax. That's Jack. I was on. So Sosa's barking.
Yeah, but I heard Sosa.
Jax has made the playoffs 2 of the 3 years he's been in here, and he won. So
and Jax also saved the league because if John Tom had won it last year.
Yeah, but John was done.
That's true. He was done.
Anybody was, and to be honest, John, I'm giving you one out of respect. Winning the league 3 times in a row is never going to happen again, in my opinion. And honestly, who knows if we'll be playing when somebody gets a third chip? I mean, who knows, truly. It could be like another 20 years till somebody gets their third chip.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just looking at playoff finish first, and then regular season finish second, third, fifth. He came in last year. I think there's been some fluky things that have happened. Like one year, like the year that I had clearly the best team, he had the 7th most points scored in the regular season. He beat me with a Jonathan Taylor explosion. But he's got 3 chips. He's number 1 right now. I will be willing to move him down though if he stinks bad again this year. If he makes the playoffs again, I think that he can solidify staying there. But back-to-back years of really stinking bad may drop you.
Yeah,
that's it. So that's the rankings. I don't. Do y'all have any qualms with them?
No, I don't. What about you, Jax?
No, I think it's fair. I want to see how Sam reacts to his 8 bomb.
I think when you look at the data,
I think Sam's kind of lucky to be in that spot.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, listen, man, can't be.
Look at Bones.
I mean, LB has a better record than Sam.
He does.
Collins
LB does. I mean,
stinks.
I think Collins is for sure the overall stink manager by a good margin.
Now, okay, but let me point this out though.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, and it doesn't correlate because his points against. Oh, wait. If you're 9th in points against, does that mean you had?
That's how many. So, like, if you're 9th in points against, you've had the 4th most points scored against you.
Oh, okay. Well, this makes sense. So now let's draw our attention to this fact now. I don't think Collins is a bad manager. I actually think we have a great league. Let's draw our attention. Collins all 3 years has finished 4th, 6th in points scored.
Yeah.
And he's had the most, 3rd most, and 4th most points scored against him. So
fair point.
I think that's something that's maybe been swept under the rug until now.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, we'll just consider that. Collins is not a bad manager. He's just last right now.
Yeah.
We've got a good league.
We do. I think that's a fair point. Same thing with LB. He's points against. He's had the 2nd most, 3rd most, and 4th most points scored against him the last 3 years.
LB keeps texting me that, luck will change.
Yeah. Where Sam, like I say, he made the playoffs for the first time last year the previous 4 years.
He's
finished. He had He had the third least points scored against him last year, the fourth most in 2020, and then he was sixth least or most, however you want to say it, in 2019. In points for, he's also gone 12th and 9th and 19 in 2020, but he did have the second most points scored last year. So Sam did had while he had the third least points scored against him last year, he did have a good team scoring second most.
Yeah, well, I'll say this, man. This document uncovered some of Sam's stink. And you know what? Some call it skill, some just call it serendipity, but Sam rode the coattails of one guy last year, and his name's Cooper Kupp. Anybody could have done it. So jury's out on Sam, but that's all.
Sam doesn't have a great, I say, he has a back end draft pick. So we'll see what he does with it. It's not the best, but I think it's better than.
Hey,
it's not the worst. I think it's a lot better.
I won from the 10 spot last year.
You did. You're right, Jax.
It's doable.
Jury's out on Sam. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Listen, anybody in this league can win this year. There's not a single person that doesn't have the capability to win. It's been said. We have a good league. We have good managers. We're not going to go into the draft and someone sabotage it. So it's going to be a good season, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think that's why another good point of why it could be 20, 25 years before there's 3 chips won again. So
yeah.
When redraft, everybody starts from ground one.
That's right.
And the unfortunate reality is John has just as good of a chance now to win another one as any of us.
Yeah,
that's true.
He's done 1-3 now, so crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, TJ, thank you for the rankings. Jax, any closing remarks?
Thank you for having me on. Honored to be the first guest of the 2022 Hopkinsville Fantasy Football Podcast.
I'd like to give a sponsor. Yeah, thanks to the champ for joining us. I'd like to give a sponsorship to Micah Easton's haircuts. I got a fresh buzz, first buzz I've ever had, and he did me right. So this video is sponsored by Micah Easton Cuts. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, guys, we're all excited. We got college football coming up this Saturday. We got some games on, and then everybody else starts the following Saturday for college football, and then the following weekend is NFL. So football is here. We are excited. We're drafted next weekend. We're going to set up a podcast, talk about our draft that week after we draft, the week after Labor Day, and can't wait to talk with y'all about it. So everybody, good luck at their draft, and see y'all next week.